Greetings and welcome to the video. In this, we're going to go over some tactics on one of the most problematic aspects of music, and that's memorization of all keys. And this is aimed mostly at people who want to compose and create. But it will work for people who just want to play instruments and improvise and stuff. And this topic keeps popping up over and over again. So I thought I would cover some ways you can actually take this, what seems at first a very daunting task, and make it easier, and actually make it easier on your brain's ability to absorb what you're learning. The beauty about the process we're going to do today is you can do it anywhere, including going to sleep, driving in your car, taking a walk, whatever. You can think about this stuff while you're doing that. This is muscle memory. I know I played C major, but I can't possibly name all the chords: A major, F sharp, see, I could barely even think. F sharp, harmonic minor. Because of the reliance purely on muscle memory. That's memorizing for an instrument. You don't want to do that when you're memorizing for theory. You need some kind of tactical plan to not just rely on muscle memory. So here's a good example. Michael Jordan makes that shot with his eyes closed. He's eliminated the hand-eye coordination, the eye part of that aspect, and is using his mind alone. So we're going to do that as well by removing our visual cues. And we're going to have to do this mentally because we've also removed the hand-eye coordination aspect. So let's look at the approach we're going to take today. And this is super important. Phased learning. You don't want to do everything at once. A good analogy is sight reading through like a whole entire piano sonata. You're not going to remember the whole thing, putting the sheet music away afterwards and be able to play it from memory. Unless you have a photographic memory. You're going to have to learn stuff like that in what's called chunking or small chunks. You're going to have to do reviews of it. Here's a tactical way to use small chunks and just cognitively in your mind. Start in C major. Name the Roman numerals of each chord, the chord spelling notes, the chord quality, color, minor, major, augmented, diminished. Augmented's not going to occur in major, obviously. Corresponding mode of that specific degree and chord. And you don't want to move from here until that's completely and totally memorized and easy. Now let me show you a practical application. Let's take I'll just choose an A flat chord. This is going to cross over to notation. Well, let's say A flat minor or A flat Dorian. So immediately this process we just looked at, that's the second mode of G flat, the 2 chord, or A flat Dorian. Note names: A flat, C flat, E flat. If you know all the notes on any instrument you play, this will cross over very quickly. G flat, A flat Dorian. As a result, it's also going to help you just simply jamming out and improvising on basic triads and stuff because you already know the chords. You've eliminated what chords belong. The only thing left is a sense of timing. So now you can start using even complex chords and maybe create grooves and stuff much quicker than you will guessing. And I'm not just talking about keyboard skills. Keyboard's not my main instrument, but it's very easy to transfer this over to it, or whatever instrument you play as long as you know the note name. So here's a very tactical approach. You start with one key only, and you might go through this process. 1 chord, C major, C, E, G, Ionian. 2 chord, D minor, D, F, A, Dorian. 3 chord, E minor, E, G, B, Phrygian mode. 4 chord, F major, F, A, C, Lydian. 5 chord, G major, G, B, D, Mixolydian. 6 chord, A minor or Aeolian, or the relative minor, A, C, E, etc., etc. It's a minor chord. 7 chord, diminished, B, D, F, Locrian mode. Now, it doesn't have to be that fast. You would probably want to do it slower. And at first, you may need the reference like here, and then remove the reference completely to where you can name all of this without any reference. This is chunking, okay? You're taking C major and you're actually killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're learning the modes as well as all the chords and all the note names that make up that specific chord. You don't want to leave this key until this is completely memorized. Now you can make mistakes and accidentally blurb out something, which I tend to do all the time, just like I did a second ago. But what you want to do after this, as soon as this is completely and totally memorized, do the same process in a related key like F, because there's 4 common chords. And it might just be strategic like that to go around the circle of fifths in a counterclockwise manner like that. So with that in mind, what you'd want to do is go 1 chord, FAC, major, Ionian, 2 chord, G minor, G, B flat, D, Dorian mode, 3 chord, A minor, ACE, Phrygian mode, 4 chord, B flat, D, F, Lydian mode, 5 chord, CEG, Mixolydian, 6 chord, DFA, relative minor or natural minor, 7 chord, E, G, B flat, diminished chord Locrian. Now what doesn't matter is the order in which you name things like Roman numeral, spelling, quality, mode, because I just did that from memory and it was just kind of all over the place, but I still named all those things. And you're going to want to do this plus C major now. This is called harmonic upkeep. You're remembering the stuff you've memorized prior, just like you would in chunking out learning an entire really long piece of music. So 1 chord, CEG, Ionian. This is C major, major chord. So 2 chord, minor chord, DFA, Dorian. 3 chord, EGB, Phrygian. It's a minor chord. I said 3 chord. 4 chord, FAC, Lydian. It's a major chord. 5 chord, GBD, Mixolydian. It's a major chord. 6 chord, relative minor or Aeolian, doesn't matter, as long as you know it's the relative minor. You have to keep that in mind because when you deal with functional harmony. 7 chord diminished BDF, Locrian. So we've gone through a review of what we know and practicing what we're learning. Here's something you might want to try on top of this. Once you have both keys memorized, what are the common chords between each key? Because this is very important, pivot modulation. You could do stuff like CEG, 1 chord in C, 5 chord in F, DFA, 2 chord in C, 6 chord in F, FAC, 1 chord in F, 4 chord in C, ACE, 3 chord in F, 6 chord in C. So now you have C Ionian, C Mixolydian, F Lydian, F Ionian, D Dorian, D Aeolian, and A Phrygian, A Aeolian. Now you have access to 14 different modes and 4 common chords, just memorizing 2 keys in a methodical way like this. Now what you want to do is move this process to B flat or something. Keep it consistent. If you're going to go counterclockwise through the circle of fifths, just keep doing that until you eventually end up back at C.